This is the video review of the core mecha of Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger. This overall set is forms up to be Gokaioh, and in the States this set will be released probably heavily modified, as is Bandai of America's usual habit, but it will be known as the Legendary Megazord. And I'm actually very interested to see what Bandai of America will do with this design, because I've got some problems with this design, and I can't really see how Bandai of America could mess up this design, and we'll see why. Now, to start off, let's start off with the elephant in the room. The a jet. This is not a jet. This is a box with flimsy little flaps and a hat sitting on it. It also has a pointy bit and a hand sticking out of it. It rolls, and that's about the only thing I can say in its favor, because this thing is ridiculous. So, yeah. To get this thing ready for combination, you will fold up the wheels here, and that will free up the space where the connection point is. You'll fold down the wings, and you'll pop off the pirate hat. And as you can see, it is even more of a box now. I'll set this off to the side, and we will move on to the next of the mecha. This is the other really bad one of the set. And it's not actually that it's so bad, it's that I don't understand it. I mean, it's a Formula 1 race car, but if you look at the other things, like you have a mobile treasure chest, you have a submarine, and you have a pirate ship, there's a very strong pirate thing going on. This is a Formula 1 racer, a pirate-themed Formula 1 racer. I'm not sure I understand this. I mean, I get the jet. It makes sense why modern pirates might want to have some form of air superiority. I don't get why they would want Formula 1 racing superiority, so yeah, I don't understand this, but it rolls well, and the sculpting is decent. You can see the hand here. It does a token effort of hiding itself as an engine because the thumb looks like an air intake, but overall it's not too bad. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Now, to transform this thing for robot mode, you'll pull out the fist and rotate this wheel down. Now, the instructions say to rotate both wheels down, but I don't end up doing that because you only need to rotate this wheel down for the main gimmick of the set, and if you rotate this wheel down, it interrupts the usage of this button, which is I won't be able to cover what the button does in this video because I need an accessory mecha for that button to matter, but we'll get to that in a sequel video. So this is the Formula 1 racer. I'll put them off to the side, and now we get to the kind of decent ones, or the thematically appropriate ones. Now, this one right here is the trailer. This one, I dislike this one quite a bit because it's just kind of bland. It's this really itty-bitty tiny vehicle and this giant trailer behind it. Now, this thing does fit in with the pirate theme pretty well because this looks like a treasure chest. This basically, literally, is a treasure chest, and it makes sense why pirates might need some land vehicles. A Formula 1 racer, I don't understand, but I do understand this. So, this fits with the theme okay. I can accept it. Now, to transform this thing, parts forming, yay! And then you pop it in like this, and you get a leg. I'll put this off to the side, and now we get to the two kind of decent ones. This is a pirate submarine, which makes sense because pirates are a nautically themed entity. And this one looks pretty okay. I like the glossiness of the paint. I especially like all the paint that's on the front, on the top of it here. It looks nice, it feels nice, it's pretty thick, and it feels sturdy, and it really helps break up the coloring. So I do like the submarine. It's I really like this anchor on the front of it here, and I also like how it kind of has a baleen whale motif here. Like, the front of it looks like the mouth of a baleen whale. And to transform this thing, you will split this open, and that's all you do. And now we get to the only really good one of this set, and that is the pirate ship. And this thing looks awesome. The only main complaint I have about it is that it's kind of underpainted on the sides, but that's not too big of a deal because all the other units of this set kind of suck when this thing is all separated out. So, and when this guy's all combined, you don't see any of the sides of him. So it makes sense why they didn't put any detail in it, because this isn't how the toy's actually supposed to be enjoyed. This is just here so that there's something for it to be when it's split up, because Power Rangers traditionally has a combining gimmick to it. Although I feel like this set overall would have been stronger if they just stuck with making a nice action figure, not combining it. Although that would make some Power Rangers fans very angry. It would probably even make me angry, because, well, I wouldn't know that this overall set is what we would get instead. So anyway, this is the pirate ship. I love the detailing on the top, which is what you see in robot mode, and overall it's kind of decent. It also rolls. Now to transform this thing, you will fold down the wings. You will take the large sail, fold it up, and I like to take the small sail and fold it over top of it. That helps keep this sturdy. And then you will split the front of the ship, and you will take the swords out with it, which will reveal the head. And that's all you do by itself. Now we start, now we start combining stuff onto it. So, take a leg, snap it on. Take a leg, snap it on. He's getting big, so let me adjust my camera. I wish I hadn't hit that, because that messed up my flexible tripod a little bit. Then we put on the arms. And one thing you'll notice about the head is that the head has a bandana on it before you put on the hat. And I like that, because it means that if you lose the hat, it still kind of looks okay. It doesn't look out of place. It still has a strong pirate theme going. But then, when you put on the hat, this is the best part. That is awesome. It's very simple, but it's a nice use of a hat. And overall, I do really like the look of Gokaioh. The main torso has a strong pirate motif, like as the open shirt with a billowing whatever. I don't know what pirate... I don't know the terms of pirate fashion. It has a very pirate-looking shirt motif on the chest. It has nice shoulder pads. Has a nice naval hat, I guess. The legs, while the pink is kind of out of place on the pirate. Well, I suppose. I don't know much about pirates, but the legs have a nice look to them. They look like greaves. They look pretty cool. They fit the aesthetic pretty well. And the only problem is the arms still kind of don't fit. I mean, you have... excuse me, I'm fixing my camera a little bit. You have just random wheels on it. And this arm is just so nondescript. There's no... Except for the cockpit right here, which doesn't make sense from the front here. It's just a silver blob. It just doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look like an arm. It doesn't look like a vehicle. It just looks... blah. And so now we can get into his weapons. His weapons are these swords. Now this sword has to go in this hand because this hand is closed. So it pegs in. But this sword, because it has this sail on it, has to go into this hand, which is opened and is a clip. So you clip it in, and this is Gokaioh with his swords. And this looks pretty cool. Now, if you don't want him holding his swords, you can store his swords on his hips. And you just clip them on like this. But what's weird about it is that this actually doesn't work very well. Now, they will hold and they will stay, but the problem is, you see these wings right here? They mean that the place where the swords lie isn't flat, so the swords don't ever clip perfectly into their clips. They just sort of rest on them a little bit, and that's not really a problem. It's just weird and kind of annoying. And finally, we can get into the overall gimmick of this figure. Why all of the why everything is so boxy on this guy, and it has to do with this dial on the back. Now, if you turn this dial, stuff starts opening, and then for the lower legs. Yeah, sometimes these things stay open, sometimes they don't. It's kind of problematic. And then we can look at the chest, and this is just the figure by itself, that and the accessory mecha is all it does. You get a little cannon that pops out. And these compartments are the main gimmick of Gokaiou. And the idea is that you get accessory mecha that's split apart and stored inside the compartments, so that when you turn the dials, and if you turn the dial one way, they all open up at once, but I'm not going to show that because it's hard enough to get this stuff all on camera, and you get the basic idea. I'll show it off when I show the accessory mecha. But the idea is that when it opens up, then parts from the previous Super Sentai series will pop out. Because we have like the Magi Dragon, the Pat Striker, the Gao Lion, the there's also one from the Ninja Storm Super Sentai series. I forget what that series is called. And then there's also one from Goanger, that's a weird race car. And there are 5 of these accessory Gokai machines. And then there's also a blue spaceship thing that turns into a kaiju monster, like Godzilla. But just the accessory mecha that's stored inside, that's a basic gimmick. And it's a neat gimmick. I like the idea. I just wish that these 2 right here, the arms, were other vehicles that made more sense for the theme and that looked better. I'm okay with the legs being what they are. I like the pirate ship, but the arms just kind of make the set off, because they don't make sense for the overall figure. And one thing I don't like about this gimmick here is that it means that when you do not have an accessory mecha to go in it, the figure is very light because he's very hollow. And in the show, when he used the cannon like this, and the cannon is also very small, I don't blame them for that, they're in limited space constraints, but in the show, what would happen is there would be a bunch of cannonballs in the arms and the legs, and they would feed into the main cannon. I wish that they had included, for the figure by itself, just some cannonball accessories that would stick in here for when you're not using any accessory mecha. There'd be like 3 cannonballs that are all hooked together in a line as one solid piece that would plug in there. That would look cool. That would give the figure some extra mass and make him not hollow. And I don't think it would have cost that much because they would have been real simple parts to make. And to not have those ruins show accuracy, which I know a lot of people care about, and they make the figure more boring when it's by itself. Now, when you start getting into the accessory mecha, this flaw stops mattering so much because everything gets filled up, but we'll get into that in a later video. Now, going back to the Legendary Megazord, which is what this thing will be called in the US, I'm very interested to see what Bandai of America will do with this, because this overall design is so simple, and because the door opening gimmick is a necessity to sell more figures related to this, I don't know how Bandai can simplify this thing anymore, except I think the way it's going to work is each individual mech part will have its own button, so you won't have a dial that you turn to open them from the central unit. We'll press a button on each individual one to open it. That's what I think will happen. And the reason for that is because, for one, Bandai is definitely going to shrink this down, and part of the reason for that is so that the figure will be compatible with their Zord Builder system, which is a system related to these pegs right here. They look like these pegs, but they are much smaller, and they are standardized across all of the recent Megazords they've made. And the idea is that if you have one Megazord, you can swap the parts around between them. And the reason why that system is not compatible with how this thing works is, if you look, there's a peg that pokes out when you turn the dial here. And when you do that, that presses a button on the inside of the figure, and that causes a chain reaction, causes the door to open. The pegs of the Zord Builder system are much too small to do that, or at least I think they are. So, to get around that, I think all of these will have their own buttons to open it up. And I can't see Bandai not having this open up thing, because that is something... that is the entire point of this set. That's how this set sells more figures, because you need to have this gimmick here function properly so that you can sell stuff to put inside of it. And I can't see Bandai of America not also making the Magi Dragon, the Pat Striker, or the Gao Liner, or any of the other accessory mecha that go with this. That is how they will make their money on this guy, is with the selling the accessory stuff. So I'm interested to see how Bandai of America is going to adapt to this, because I can only see this. I can only see them improving this by. I don't know. I just can't see a way for them to mess this up because it's overall very simple and solid design. I can't see it being floppy or flimsy when they make it, which is has been a habit that they've had for a while, making very floppy figures. I can't see them simplifying it beyond making it so that there's a button on each individual figure that makes it so that the doors spring open. Maybe they'll make it smaller, reduce the paint apps, and make it so that not everything fires all at once. That's all I can figure out that they're going to do. Otherwise, I think the Legendary Megazord is going to be pretty much exactly like this. So, do I recommend this? Not by itself. You need at least the Magic Dragon, maybe the Pat Striker, to make this figure worth anything at all. And to get both of those is going to set you back another $60, $70, $80, depending on where you get it. So, a figure that's already going to cost you between $80 and $100 for shipping, not being worth anything until you buy 2 more figures, which by themselves aren't anything. This figure starts becoming a bad deal really fast. So, if you like the gimmick, and especially if you like how the Magic Dragon works, because that's my favorite of the accessory mecha I have for this guy so far, then yeah, definitely it's worth a look if you have the excess money. But if you're on the fence, I would say stay away or wait until the Legendary Megazord comes out, see what Bandai does with it. Bandai of America does with it. So it's just kind of... it has a lot going for it, but a lot is wrong with it too. So anyway, I reviewed Transformers, Power Rangers, Macross figures, just a ton of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe. I am also starting a Facebook account for this channel. I've actually had it for a while, but I haven't done anything with it yet. If you're interested in that, please check it out, like us on Facebook. I will be starting several contests on that pretty soon, and if you're interested in that, go check it out, and otherwise, thank you for watching.